hang out, answer some questions with the chat, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me the link as well, because I'm going to post it in the Haven.
Yeah. Alright.
Nice.
I just sent it to you. I don't know why that's the thumbnail. I think it's because that's like this background picture, but... Live with Crypto UB.
Hell yeah.
And I'll drop it in my Telegram too. I'm almost up to 4,000 people in there.
Hell yeah.
Kind of dope. I feel like these the tweets when we go live or something just don't get as much engagement as they should.
No, they don't.
It's like we're literally gonna sit here and talk to you guys about what we think's gonna happen for like an hour.
Yep.
Bro. Oh my gosh, that's gonna get annoying. Alright. I think. Okay. What's up, guys? Nick, Kareem. Can you guys hear both me and UB?
What's up? What's up?
Kareem says, what's up? Nick says, hell yeah, dope.
Oh, do I have water? Okay, nice.
What's up, Stick Shift Sam? I know there's a little bit of a delay, but let me know if you guys can hear UB once. David says, pump it, Loom Dart. Okay, it looks like they can hear you too. How's everyone doing? I think we'll hang out for the next 9 minutes, and then at 2:30 we'll kind of get started, start talking about the market. You be kind of stoned.
I'm not stoned. I don't drink. I don't do anything, man. I drink. The only drug I take is Tylenol.
That
maybe Advil.
Tylenol is
feeling wild.
Tylenol's a hard drug, man.
yeah.
No ibuprofen.
Oh yeah, sometimes when I'm getting really wild.
Big ibuprofen guy.
Yeah.
What's up, Harvier, Cameron, Max, Ruben? Big delay, otherwise good. Okay, yeah, that's kind of expected. I think there's like a 30-second delay. I'm not sure if there's any way.
Is that normal for YouTube streaming, or can you adjust that?
I think it's normal. I was looking through my stream settings, and like I don't have a delay set. Like I know there's a way you can set a delay if you're gaming or whatever. Don't want to get stream sniped, but yeah, I don't have anything set. I think it's just how long it takes to get over. Stick shift.
Anyone in the chat, do you know when the Binance leaderboard or your P&L analysis on Binance leaderboard like resets for the day? Do you know what time of the day that happens?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd probably think like at the daily close. So in
that's what I thought too, but it's not, and I can't figure out when it is, and it's driving me crazy.
It might be an hour later, because with daylight savings, a lot of things. Like I know, I think it's referrals on FTX or Bybit or something, like don't get paid until 8 p.m. Eastern, even though the daily close is 7 p.m.
True, that makes sense.
So
yeah, I can't figure it out. It's driving me crazy, man. I want my leaderboard account to update with my daily stuff, but I can't. It's not working.
It'll probably be in like an hour after the daily close. What's up, Sun Juice? Good to see you in here, man. Anders, what's up? ETH Connect. That SR flip at 13.45 for ETH. Yeah, that was nice. Okay, a few more minutes. Main. Ethereum is looking good, guys. I hope you're in some Ethereum. Bitcoin looks whack, but it's looking okay. What's our goal for Ethereum next month? Dude, I was tweeting about it. I think 2K Ethereum in the next 10 days, February 8th. Actually, I think it could hit 2K before that. I think February 8th could be like when it starts to top out. And I'll tell you guys why. Mark, I didn't post a setup in the Telegram. Oh, that's a good... I think I did forget that. I should set up a bot that just sends tweets to my Telegram as well for the times I forget to do it. I post some extra stuff in the Telegram too. But I definitely try to... Actually, I don't want every tweet to go there because then that defies the point. Do you think Wall Street Bets will be able to pull off the Uber squeeze? UB, what do you think?
Wait, what's that question? Do you think
I feel like they kind of did.
I don't. So I'm like super sketched out about all of this now with all the squeezes and stuff, especially with, you know, GameStop, AMC, and whatever else has been squeezing. I think that's like pretty terrifying. And to enter any of those now, I think you have better chances going to a casino and tossing it on red or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think this weekend specifically should be really interesting because I'm wondering if they're going to do any sort of like regulation stuff or make any sort of announcements. Like I just saw Zero had just tweeted Robinhood only lets you hold one share of 36 specific stocks.
Interesting.
Which is like pretty absurd. So I'm really interested to see what happens this weekend. I think all of this stuff is going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I feel like it has to eventually.
Yeah. It's really anyone's guess, to be honest. I could say whatever I want and it's just my opinion, but
yeah,
who knows? Also, the stock market as a whole looks pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
The price action from the last 2 days, I think it's really teetering on the edge of a larger sell-off, which it's welcomed for me. I want to see that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are going to get smoked.
Yep.
There is a really good question that I don't want to skip from Harvard Gill. He says, what do you think are some good strategies for starters? I really think, understanding price action is probably the best thing you could start with for trading.
Yeah, I think
because
Go ahead.
A lot of indicators and stuff like that are derived from price action. So once you get a good understanding of price action, you can kind of just get a good feel of the market, understand what's going on, and then you could use your indicators as more confidence for your arguments.
Yeah, I think so too. I think when I first started, I was like, oh, RSI and MACD, this is the holy grail. Anytime RSI gets overbought, I'll just short, and vice versa. And it's like, You learn quickly that doesn't work. And so being able to kind of build a foundation of your technical analysis skills just by learning price action and studying that for a while is the way to go. I don't think there's anything wrong with indicators. I think they're a great confluence after you learn how to read price, because otherwise I think you just kind of use it as a crutch.
Yeah, for sure.
If I lose it all on ETH, will I get a refund from UB?
Yes, that's Angle. I'll definitely give you a refund.
Oh, Angle. What's up, Angle? Chambers from Credible Crew. What's up, Chambers? Good to see you here, man. I appreciate you spreading the word about the YouTube. It's been fun getting things kind of up and running. Kazi, you keeping a perp on ETH open till February 8th? It depends. I'm not going to say like, yep, I'm definitely going to keep this open until February 8th no matter what happens, but we'll see. Kind of just have to take it a day at a time. I started reading the chat and read tip. All right, 2 minutes and then we'll really get started. Hey, UB, do we just want to like screen share on Discord and then I can put yours up if you want to talk about some stuff?
I have a lot of stuff open right now and I've never like screen shared on Discord. I don't want to leak anything.
I've never done that either.
Yeah, so
I have Discord. I have Discord on the other monitor if you want to just.
True.
It's okay. I'll start and then we can figure that out later.
Yeah, that's fine.
And you can also just like chime in or tell me to pull up charts or whatever works.
Exactly. Yeah.
A Angle, it's me, Sensitive Boy. Thank you a lot for answering. Harvard says thank you, UB.
Yep.
All right. Just about 80 people in here. Let's get this party started. Dude, it's been funny. The last few days, it's like I'll be on my personal Twitter and I just see like all these people talking about the stock market, about crypto, like retweeting stuff, and I'll be like, wait, this isn't supposed to happen unless I'm on my like trading Twitter.
Yeah, it's weird. And that's one of the main reasons why I tweeted this, I think, yesterday. How I've been pretty paranoid about some sort of hellish sell-off candle because I think, it's great to be bullish and high time frame is bullish, and I'm not at all calling a top, but I just think that the people who recently joined, or not recently joined, recently started trading, and it essentially has been free money for the last couple months. No one can really deny that, especially in the stock market. I think those people need to get humbled a little bit, and that's why I think we're going to see some sort of sell-off in the stock market, which maybe could transfer over to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I could see that too. Crypto specifically, I think was pretty much free money, so to speak, from October till December, till the start of January, mid-January. I'll be honest, with Bitcoin, I did get chopped up a little bit, but alts were great during that time, so it was a trade-off. I probably should have just stopped trading Bitcoin for a while and only focused on alts, but
I've been loving trading Bitcoin on lower time frames the last couple of weeks. It's been very fun. You get like 1,000 points in like 30 minutes. It's wild.
Yeah, I know. Dude, it's crazy. Today I wake up and Bitcoin is up $5,000, and then it's like fast forward a few hours and I'm like, wait, we're down literally $5,000 from the high. It was just insane.
Yeah, I caught all of that Elon pump as well. Not all of it. A large majority of it, though.
Yeah.
So that felt good.
What's up, CBS? Good to see you here, bro.
CBS, Are you doing the thing you said you'd be doing during the stream? I was just talking to CBS before.
Really?
Yeah, and he said something that puts a horrible picture in my mind, actually.
Waiting to see entries. Yeah, so we just start counter trading each other on stream.
Yeah, CPS always dumps on me.
Trader main in the house. All right, let's get started. Stop entry target. Well, that's exactly what we're here to give you. Okay, I think we'll start with Ethereum just because that's kind of the hot topic right now. Let me pull up the ETH BTC chart. So high time frame ETH BTC. Let me delete this crap. Looks absolutely gorgeous. We've got this weekly SR level, which has been pivotal, and we had been consolidating / ranging underneath this level for a long time. How many years is that? 2 years, 861 days, a little over 2 years, and we're finally breaking out of that. So this black level, weekly SR, and then we had some daily demand set up perfectly right around that level. And when things line up like this, like, you just love to see that kind of confluence. I was talking about this in the video yesterday, but this was the area to buy Ethereum. It all lined up perfectly, honestly, because with Bitcoin pumping and taking the spotlight, it pushed down ETH BTC right where we wanted to see it. And we got a great reaction from there, which is also what I wanted to see. Like, we didn't close any high time frame candles below the weekly SR level, and demand held really well. We're pushing away from there. If you're not in yet and want to wait for some more confirmation, you might be able to get something like this. Break above these highs would be a nice break in structure, and if we do get a retrace like that, then we're going to get going. So that is my view on ETH BTC. Let's go to Ethereum USD. I posted this setup on Twitter earlier today. We had some 4-hour demand with the daily open. When opens or other SR levels line up really well, it's just I kind of think of trading sometimes as a puzzle, and Confluence is multiple puzzle pieces, and you can just get like a clearer picture of what you think is going to happen. And so when a lot of different things line up, it can be really powerful. So this was the long I entered earlier. I posted it on Twitter. It probably kind of looked like a meme because I said my second target was 2,000, and I know the chart kind of looks insane. Monday's high is the closer target, but I do think Ethereum has a ton of upside coming up, and that is partially because of ETH BTC. You know, if that really starts running, then I think Ethereum is going to take the spotlight. But the February 8th date, if you guys don't know already, let me pull up here you go. So February 8th is when CME is launching their Ethereum futures. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Bitcoin's CME futures were launched on December 17th, 2017. Can't do it on this chart. And December 17th, 2017 was this day. So I'm not really expecting it to look exactly the same, but I just think it could be some type of a sell the news event where, and like I feel like everything is just lining up perfectly with this. Like it looks like Ethereum's about to take the spotlight. There's bullish news coming out with Ethereum. I think we're just going to get a massive pump, and then I think that could climax on February 8th, where everyone's like, okay, now this is like super bullish, Ethereum to 5K, 10K. People are just going to start having the most insane targets, and I just think that could be a classic sell the news event where what's happening is actually really bullish, but as we lead up to it, it's kind of getting priced in. So that's kind of the general thesis behind that February 8th, 2000 Ethereum idea. I'm not like completely set on it where it's like I'm holding this to 2K if I get stopped out or it goes to target. Like I'm still going to trade level to level, but I will probably take some profit on spot if we shoot up to 2K in the next 10 days or so. UB, you got anything about Ethereum?
Yeah, so I believe that over the next couple weeks,
actually, if you want to send me a chart on Discord, I can pull it up and then you can kind of talk about it. But or you can.
I don't even have a clean chart. I was just gonna say in general about Ethereum.
Okay, go for it.
I just think in general, Ethereum in terms of strictly ROI will outperform Bitcoin by a large margin. So what I've personally done is converted a good amount of my cold storage Bitcoin into Ethereum because that just fits my theory that Ethereum is going to run harder than Bitcoin. Sure, maybe Bitcoin will go up another, I don't know, like let's just say another 10,000, which would be to 45K. That would only be 30%, which I believe would be pretty low in comparison to what Ethereum will be able to do over the next coming weeks or months. So I'm positioned accordingly for a much larger Ethereum move than maybe more than 2K. Well, not maybe more. I think it's going to go past 2K. Maybe not in the next 10 days, but over the next few weeks, I think it's going to go run much harder than that.
Yeah, being more bullish on Ethereum right now than Bitcoin, you're basically saying you think there's a higher probability Ethereum, or at least sooner, that Ethereum gets to 1,800 versus Bitcoin getting to 45K. And like, I would agree with that.
Right, and structurally, the structure compared to Ethereum to Bitcoin is a lot cleaner. I think it's much cleaner than the structure on Bitcoin right now, and the fact that it's been consolidating under resistance just makes it primed to be coiled up and just run.
Yeah. One thing I do find interesting comparing them is, let me see if I can do this. Like recently, Ethereum's been making some higher highs and higher lows. Bitcoin, the exact opposite. And whether or not that means like they could both pump from here or whatever, we don't know like exactly what's going to happen with the both of them. But I think this just shows that Ethereum is kind of showing strength in the market and kind of starting to take the spotlight.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
Let's see. Let me catch up with
What drawing tool are you using? What the hell?
It's the little Light Shot app.
Light Shot.
Here, I'll show
How
you.
do I not have this? Light Shot. Okay, it's on their print screen. Got it.
This guy.
All right, I'll look into this later.
Yeah, it's cool. So you can like do that, and then
I just use the trading view drawing stuff. It's pretty interesting.
when I like want to draw on something but not mess up a chart or whatever, or just like start with a clean chart, I'll just use that. Let's see. A Coldy main. What's the difference between ETH USD and ETH USDT? Oh, main answered that. Yeah, USDT is Tether. Oh,
You're just trading against a different asset.
yeah, I didn't see you. You responded there perfect. Tether exit scammed. I didn't see that. Grayscale ETH Trust open today. Yeah, so that was some more bullish news that came out today. I can't remember who. Let's see. I think they tweeted about it. This was kind of surprised. I mean, I don't know if this was something they announced earlier that was gonna happen today, or if this was out of the blue. But another bullish narrative for Ethereum. So let's talk about Bitcoin a little bit now. Even though.
All right.
So I was talking to UB before we hopped on the stream that this basically what happened. Elon Musk puts Bitcoin in his bio. I'm sure you guys all saw that. I mean, I wasn't awake when it happened, but it was pretty much right when this pump started, right?
Yep.
Puts Bitcoin in his bio. Bitcoin rips 20% just about in like half an hour. And then we kind of chopped around and we've retraced most of that. But what I was telling him that looks weird about this is that it's not what happened. Like, I had been watching these equal highs right here for a while, and I remember yesterday, I think when I went to bed, we had just like dipped down here, and I was like, yeah, at some point, like I think we'll take out those highs and then come back down and retest this mid-range, which is also a nice 12-hour level, the origin right before that breakdown. And so that idea was like, I thought that was pretty likely of this happening. The weird part is just how quick it's happened, right? Like, we pumped up 20%, dropped back down, 15%, 14%. And so I'm not sure if I should be thinking about this price action differently, but I think news kind of sped up the inevitable, because I do think these equal highs were a magnet for price, and that they were going to get tagged at some point, and that we weren't just going to go straight up from there. So I think the pullback and the pump both were kind of in the making, but how quick it all happened was a bit of an anomaly, obviously. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been just slightly more bearish on Bitcoin for the last, I don't even know, couple days. I've just been hedging after the daily close. I'm hedging and exiting for like 1,000, 1,500 points or so for every hedge. But I turned down my hedges a little bit because before this pump, like when we swept the lows again at 29K on the 27th, and then consolidated for a bit on the 28th and created some sort of bottom. At that point, sellers were pretty comfortable for 2 days, just chilling in their shorts. So what I was looking for was some sort of squeeze to kind of make them a little bit more uncomfortable, and then I would feel better getting into hedges, because I did believe that we would get some sort of large candle that would screw a lot of shorts. Obviously, I didn't know that Elon was going to put that in his bio or whatever. But part of my argument was that we would have seen some sort of squeeze so that I could feel more comfortable entering into hedges without thinking that it's going to pump, 2,000 points in a single 30-minute candle, which is possible. Obviously, with this market environment, that's possible. So as far as the price action of right now, I think it's tough to say. It looks very ugly on the hourly, very ugly on the 4 hour, and I just can't see how that would get too much better, especially going into the Asia trading session, which has turned into like slightly a meme that they're just going to sell. But it's been a thing for years that the Asia trading session is always lower volatility and typically more bearish than usual. Now it's just like obviously super bearish during that time. But with a structure like this on the hourly going into that trading session, I'm kind of concerned. Maybe Bitcoin will just chill out for the weekend and we could see Ethereum move, which I think is a likely scenario. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on and be on the lookout for, just to structure stuff and see what Bitcoin will do next. And honestly, Ethereum could always drag Bitcoin up. That's happened on plenty different occasions. If Ethereum's squeezing up, maybe Bitcoin will be or not too far behind. So it's interesting. I'm really looking forward to this weekend to see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think there could be a lot of opportunities with alts, especially if Bitcoin kind of gives them a little bit of space. And I mean, you kind of do expect some kind of consolidation after this much volatility,
Right. Yeah.
because
For
we've
sure.
seen that multiple times. Like, I mean, I don't know if it needs to consolidate in a really small range, but I think it's very possible that we go through the entire weekend without either of these two spots being hit.
What two spots you looking at?
I mean,
The highs or the lows?
that's not
Yeah.
that's not that bold, I guess, because that's like $3,000 away on either side. But I don't know, just the fact that you spike up 20% in a matter of hours, then drop 15 in a few hours as well. Like it's crazy volatility. It's not unusual, but I think it's enough to kind of consolidate for a while. Maybe something like
Yep.
this.
And we could also just grind right back up. Like we don't even have to take the lows. We could literally just
Yeah, I don't
grind
think
up
this.
over the next 10 hours or something.
Yeah, I don't think this has to dip further. I think this 35K area was a really logical spot for it to come back and retest. I don't love how quick it happened, but if we do kind of consolidate and start forming a range like above here, and then break out of that, I think that would look pretty bullish. But yeah, I also think this area that I circled over here, I don't think it is crazy to think we might get something like that over here. Let me see if I can is this how you do it? Nope, that's the wrong one. Oh no. Bars pattern. There we go. If we just get something like that, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me too much. Maybe a smaller range, whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever it
I
is,
agree with
I think the move this weekend is to look for setups on alts and just look for places to compound on Ethereum.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if ETH BTC, the Bitcoin pair, has like enough strength and we're really breaking out, like I expect a pretty big move coming off of the first time we successfully flipped this weekly SR level and also coming out of this daily demand. And so if this really starts ripping, like Bitcoin could grind down, up, or sideways with Ethereum, ETH USD still going up.
Right.
Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Does anyone have questions about that? Can the monthly candle be saved? A few hours ago, I would have said absolutely. Now I would say maybe. CBS says the sell-off was only quick because of legacy, and I tend to believe what CBS says, so. LTC ETH dominance. How do I even look at that?
That's even a thing. I've never looked at that in my life.
I'm not sure either. Thank you for sharing first class thoughts. Also think some ranging through the weekend. Need to stay above 34K to lean bullish. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I think it's 35K.
I would like
Like
to
get
stay
back above
above.
35K, and I think we're chilling. But below there, it's a little sketchy.
Yeah. This daily close is not going to be pretty.
No.
But also, there have been plenty of times where we see a super ugly candle and it just pumps after that.
Yeah.
Like right here, December 27th, that probably looked pretty toppy, and we pushed up the next day. So I don't want to put too much weight into what a candle looks like, because obviously a super bearish candle, like, part of the move already happened. Like, we had a $5,000 rejection. Let's see. Better TP by Monday. Yeah, we'll see. If this weekend is like previous weekends, we might want to do something similar. Smash the buy button. ETH will break upward. Stop being cute about it. I am smashing the buy button. Are there any alts you want to check out and talk about? Anything you're watching?
Me? I did have a trade for Link that I closed a couple hours ago, but I think Link still looks fine-ish. I think Link is like to $25. Wouldn't be that outrageous at all this weekend.
Yeah, I don't
The
either.
issue I'm facing with alts right now is Bitcoin still looks kind of sketchy, like I've just been talking about. It looks a little bit sketchy, so I'm moving slow for altcoins. I'm not entering yet. I just want to see what happens during the Asia trading session, and then maybe later in the session, when hopefully we put in some sort of low, then I'll start to look for altcoin setups. But for now, I'm not in anything. Like I said, the Link is on my radar.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I mean, all of the stuff that's just been popping, right? All the DeFi stuff, the Oracle stuff.
Yeah, they're all
Any
worth
of that
paying
stuff
attention to.
is something I would look to buy on some sort of sell-off if we get one later.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think I kind of want to, I kind of want Bitcoin to convince me that it can chill for a bit and not just keep nuking before I start getting more exposed to alts. I think Ethereum is a little bit of a exception just because of how good that ETH BTC chart looks, and that doesn't mean both of them, ETH and Bitcoin, can go down in USD value, and maybe Ethereum just goes down slower or less, because I mean, even a pullback to 1350, like, I think Ethereum would still look fine if it did that.
Yeah, I agree. It's just really going to be interesting what happens after the daily close in an hour.
Yeah, we are I want to say pretty much at a make it or break it level. Like, I kind of thought that when we were first testing this 35K area, and we dipped below it a bit and kind of have just been consolidating around it. But I really don't want to, like, I don't really want to break this low that we put in at 33,550. I feel like if we break that and completely retrace this entire pump, things could get a little ugly.
Yeah, that's why it's just putting a lot of, I don't know a different word aside from pressure, just a lot of pressure on the Asia trading session to not suck ass tonight.
I know.
And just hold the low, which is a little bit giving them a little bit too much faith.
I know, and it is, like, it's still kind of crazy to think that Bitcoin's up 3% on the day. Like, given everything we saw today.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's up 1,000 from the daily open.
Yeah, there's an Asia trading session. Just Google all the trading sessions. There's New York Open, London.
Yeah, I think there's some websites with, like, countdowns for every single one, when they start, how long they last, something like that. But the main ones, New York, London, and I guess, do we just call it Asian trading session? That's what I've always called it.
Yeah. Yep.
Angle says comp is pumping. I agree.
Is it actually pumping or is it ankle pumping? Let's see.
No, it's pumping.
Oh, it actually is. All right, Angle.
I remember, a few weeks ago when Comp and Litecoin were both at the same price,
Hmm.
and it was a race to see who would hit 200 first. And now Comp just hit 300, and Litecoin is at like 130 for the last year.
Yeah.
The LTC BTC chart is like the ugliest thing I've seen in my life.
Is it? I haven't opened it in a while.
Just like the daily. Like what do we even call this? It's so
Yeah,
bad.
it's not great at all. I just got a question from the Haven. He forgot his YouTube password, so he asked there. But he asked, where would I look to enter a compound and Ethereum long? That's a good question.
It is a good question.
And um, let's see. Let's look at this chart.
I think one obvious play, like if Ethereum can maintain above like 1440, I think that's when we can get more confident that the low is in. We've had trouble getting above that level like 3 different times. A few hours ago was one of those recent times, and so if we can flip that, I definitely think it increases the probability that we've put a low in. I also will be interested to see what happens around Monday's high. If we push up something like this, take that out, maybe consolidate around here for a little bit, I'd be looking for this 1440 area to hold, and then once we get back above Monday's high too, then it's just kind of price discovery mode. So I don't even know if it's going to give us that opportunity. It honestly might just come up here, one little retest, and then really start shooting up. But those are kind of some levels I would have my eye on.
I agree with those levels, and also if we do get some sort of pullback and Ethereum USD is affected by Bitcoin going down, my ideal long entry before we hit another all-time high would be in the 1275-ish area. Now, obviously, who knows if I'm going to be able to get that or not. That's what, 120 points away now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a nice area of confluence for me personally. I would love to long there. Um, anything below 1300, like the 1290, would be nice. But if that doesn't happen, um, that's a good question. It's tough. I'd rather long a break of 1440 than long just like 1390 right now.
Yeah, if we can actually maintain above 1440, like, I mean, if you look at the daily chart, we haven't closed higher than, I don't think we've closed above 1400 yet. What's the close on this? 1395. Yeah, we haven't closed above 1400, so I think actually getting above and holding 1400, 1440, I guess 1440 more specifically if you're looking on a lower time frame, I think will be one of the early signs that this is getting ready. But also timing that with ETH BTC. So let me show you. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the video, but I was saying if you missed buying in this daily demand right at the weekly SR, I think a flip of this, like, do you call that 42 stats? I don't know how people, I think,
Yeah.
or 420.
420.
I don't know. But getting above that, I think, will be more of a confirmation that this was just a dip into demand and then a continued breakout. So I think keeping an eye on that as well as ETH USD. So like if we're breaking above this and holding that as support right when ETH USD is getting above 1440, I think that is when you compound.
Agreed. I wouldn't enter into a long on that here though, just because, again, with all this stuff coming up, Asia trading session and whatnot, and Bitcoin looking sketchy as hell on the hourly.
Yeah,
It's
that hourly
it's time
doesn't
to be patient, and
doesn't
if
look
you
good.
get a dip, great. If not, long above 1440. It's really just about patience now.
Yeah, I think I think waiting until 1440 is a good way to not get chopped up and stopped out like 3 or 4 times before actually catching the breakout.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Because like you could long here, which is like a pretty logical level. This has been our range high, pretty pivotal. And then maybe it comes down and stops you out, and then gets back above here, and you think it's going, and then comes down and stops you out again. So I think really holding above that 1440 level is going to be some good confirmation that our low is in. If this does start to dip during Asia, though, I mean, I would probably want to wait till later to enter anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Later in the session, I agree.
But depending on when it happens, like if this is just grinding down, and then, I mean, if we get a sweep into demand, I think that could be a fine setup if that's happening like right around London Open. Spike down, then quickly get back above. So, I mean, there's a few different scenarios, but like both of us have said, I think playing it safe and waiting for 1440 is going to be the way to go.
For all the people who scalp who are listening, I think scalp longs on Ethereum will be much easier than Bitcoin over the next couple days, just because of how much demand there is for Ethereum right now compared to Bitcoin. You could just see it on lower time frames. Structurally, Ethereum's much different than Bitcoin. Even before this little bounce we had when we put in the low earlier today, just structurally, there's just a lot more demand from Ethereum. So you could get away with being more aggressive on your scalp long entries for Ethereum. And I think that would pay a lot better than Bitcoin scalp long, or aggressive Bitcoin scalp longs.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And that's also like what we were kind of talking about at the beginning of the video. I can pull this up again. Basically how Ethereum has just been making higher highs even though it's getting rejected. Like that structure is definitely more upward, and Bitcoin hasn't really made a higher high.
Right.
So I think that's just a pretty simple way of looking at the strength that Ethereum has been showing. Let me catch up with the chat. You reckon it will go up? I don't know what we were talking about when you said that. If you're talking about Ethereum, yeah, I think we're both pretty bullish on Ethereum. It's just a matter of when. Can you share your thoughts on SXP and Serum? Yeah, let me look. I talked about SXP yesterday.
Is that Sam's stuff?
What?
Is that Sam's stuff?
I know Serum is. I think he's involved with SXP too.
I'm not, for people who are listening, I'm not really like a massive fundamental alt guy. If the chart looks good, I'll buy it. If it looks bad, I'll sell it.
Yeah,
that's the extent of my fundamental analysis. I'm
definitely more of a technical guy too, but I listen to my smart friends who pay attention to fundamentals.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But yeah, really quickly, so SXP, these are some super old levels. Let me clear those. I think this level has been pretty pivotal. Resistance like 4 different times, and we finally flipped it. And then Monday's range was right here, formed some 4-hour demand. Some really nice confluence there. This kind of looks like the ETH BTC where it was weekly SR with demand right on top of it. So that's kind of what we got here on SXP. Nice dip into that level. So overall, I think it looks pretty good, but I don't really love the more recent price action. I kind of would have wanted it to start pushing away. So it's kind of starting to look like it might come down for another leg. And if it does, it kind of barely front ran this hourly demand, didn't it? Yeah, just barely. That shouldn't be white. So maybe we see something like this and then break back up. But I think, it looks bullish overall. It's just a matter of nailing the entry, and I think being above this high time frame support is that's a good sign. If it can hold above that, then I think you're in good shape. looks like things are pulling back here a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, BTC is kind of starting to break down. 0.8 at 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with all these altcoin setups and Ethereum looking good, Bitcoin looks sketchy as hell.
I know.
So to enter into fresh positions here, I think would be a ballsy play and maybe not the greatest idea at all.
Yeah.
Like if we continue to stay below 35K, I see no reason why we wouldn't go sweep the origin of the breakout like 31.9. I see no reason why we wouldn't go down there, even lower. Like technically, didn't we test the yearly open like 3 or 4 times now?
Yeah,
Something
we've tested.
ridiculous.
I have it up right now. Like we chopped around it at the beginning, had that one big wick at the beginning of January into it, and then January 21st. We barely front ran it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But
so
go ahead.
And on the hourly, I could send you this chart. Maybe you could pull it up.
Yeah.
It will work. But I mean, we have those clear untapped lows. I just think it would look prime to go to this 27.8K level. That's why I'm so conflicted with altcoins and Ethereum right now. So in terms of things I look for when I look to trade, I'm trading based on liquidity and where price could get the most amount of liquidity that is easiest for it to get to. So following that logic, I believe it's easier for price to get that liquidity down at the, what is this, like 28.9 to 27K level. I think that would be easiest for price to get to. So that's where I'm basing a lot of my arguments. So I'm really not sure how Ethereum and altcoins will hold up during that. Ethereum BTC should be fine. That's why I'm more bullish on Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, and why I transferred cold storage Bitcoin into a lot of Ethereum.
Yeah, I also think it's just like a little safer to hold that right now, given how strong ETH BTC is, because even if things do start pulling back, I'd expect Ethereum to pull back less than Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't want to get too overly bullish too early on Ethereum, because you could just get rolled over from Bitcoin here. Like, I don't know. That's why you guys can very clearly tell that I'm super conflicted on what happens next.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be like, oh, it could go up or down, but that's really my thought process. There's great arguments for both. An argument that I said earlier in the stream is Ethereum could drag Bitcoin up. That's a valid argument. And also my bearish argument is valid as well. So when I have conflicting strong arguments like that, I just trade level to level. So for example, now Bitcoin is below 35K. The next level I'm interested in is 33.5. And I'm bearish below 35, bullish above 35. If we get back below 33.5, then I bearish below there, bullish above there. So I'm just playing level by level, and I don't necessarily care about what Bitcoin does until my higher time frame argument is more confirmed.
Yep, I think that is fair. I kind of hate Bitcoin right now, to be honest.
Yeah. And a question we just got was, why not trade alts, spot alts versus Bitcoin if you're concerned with alt USD? Because I really don't trade alts that much at all. I mean, I trade alts obviously, but like I'm not, for example, super bullish on Link to the point where I'm looking to buy dips on Link. Like, I don't really care about any altcoins like that, so I'll just wait for the dust to settle and see what happens, basically.
Yeah, I'll trade them sometimes. I think like now would definitely be a decent time with all that uncertainty. I did buy some ETH BTC around here because I had been waiting for that for a while, but I'm not like a everyday alt BTC scalper kind of a guy or anything.
Yeah,
I just don't trade the alt BTC pairs often, but this is one of the times where it's not a bad idea.
Exactly.
Do you think it's possible we're just testing high time frame support on BTC now? Yes, but I kind of figured this 34.4, 34.8 was the high time frame support that I would have liked to see us hold above. So that's what's a little concerning.
And also the context matters, right? For us to pump, what is it, $4,000 in a single hourly candle, then spend the entire day bleeding down into it, almost to the origin of the bounce, is not a good look. So sure, we could be retesting that high time frame support, but the fact that that happened earlier in the day, that we saw a pump and now we're bleeding down into it, is bearish.
Yep, I agree. A scenario I've kind of been watching for a while, or thinking that would kind of play out. I wanted to see this push a little higher, to be honest. I think 40K is where I kind of have been wanting to look for a rejection / hedge, because I do think it is possible we're just going to keep ranging for a while. And so a push up into there and then come back down was kind of what I wanted to see. We front ran that a little bit by just sweeping these equal highs. But bigger picture, I don't think it's out of the question that we come down to this blue area. And I don't know if that's the same level you have marked in that chart you sent me, UB. I can't see the origin of it. But
similar area, yeah.
Pretty similar. Like, I think taking out all these lows in one big move down is very likely. But I kind of thought we would push up to 40.5 first, and now it's looking like maybe 38 was the top. But I think it's a little too early to tell. Just something I'm kind of keeping an eye on.
Are the trading sessions still respected during the weekend? Yes, but overall on the weekend, it's just lower volume altogether. So sure, they're still respected, but it's going to be lower volume. KNC looks good. I haven't looked at it at all. Do you think it's possible to see Ethereum at 900 again? Yeah, of course.
If Bitcoin's taken this pullback that we think is definitely possible, I mean, it's hard to know exactly.
To say that's impossible would be unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look what happened in March. Bitcoin got absolutely decimated.
Yeah.
So you can't say that will never happen again.
That's like a 20% pullback on Bitcoin. That puts us what? That puts us just above 1,000. But, Ethereum, usually, like when the whole market is dumping or whatever, Ethereum's just a more volatile Bitcoin. I mean, not always, but like we've seen that quite a bit, where if Bitcoin dumps 20%, it's likely that alts got crushed for like 30. Thoughts on RVN? I've never traded it. Ravencoin.
I think it actually did move today. I saw some people in the group.
Wow, it's up 67%.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Holy. Is it news related or what's going on here?
I don't know. Nick, do you know if anything came out about it? He guarantees 3K by Valentine's Day.
That dude's a moron and you should unsubscribe.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone guarantees you anything...
Yeah, exactly. You should unsubscribe and run for the hills.
Like me saying my ETH 2000 on February 8th, I could absolutely be wrong. There is no way I would guarantee something like that. Do I think there's like a decent chance of it? Yeah, like I have some technical reasoning and fundamental reasoning behind why I think that, but in the end, we're all just kind of playing based off of probabilities, and who knows?
Yeah, I think anyone who you follow on Twitter or YouTube or anything like that has a strong bias in either direction, like they're always bullish or always bearish, are people that you should really be careful of, because you really shouldn't have any sort of strong bias, like hyper strong like that, when you're trading, because it will just cloud your judgment.
Yeah, I agree. We are seeing some pretty good buyback though right now. At least on Ethereum, kind of Bitcoin too. Like,
I don't know, man. The 5-minute looks sketch. I think we're gonna go to 33K. I don't know. It looks so weird. I don't like it at all.
It's not ideal.
I think Bitcoin has a chance to ruin everything this weekend.
I think best case scenario is Bitcoin
chills,
spends the rest, like the next 7 hours, just kind of
yeah, Seriously, if it could just chill during the Asia trading session, we'll be fine, and the weekend will be saved.
Yeah,
But
I
if
will
not,
say.
oof.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying. But if not, if it just continues to grind lower, then the market will not like that as a whole.
Yeah, I will say though, I think it would be a bullish sign if Bitcoin just doesn't drop in the next 7 hours or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if it can just hold around 34K, I think that would be
Totally
pretty
agree.
bullish.
Yep.
Not sure how much you guys trade traditional markets, but any stuff you'd love to get into, or love to get in on a giant market crash. UB trades equities quite a bit. I do have a finance background, so I follow the stock market quite a bit as well. I just don't trade it as much. Do you just mean like stocks that?
Just like longer term stuff, I think he means. I think if there will be a significant pullback in the stock market, you should focus on EV stuff, EV related stuff, marijuana stuff, mushroom stocks, and just stuff like that. Just because of the presidency and stuff like that, that party is seen to be more progressive, and those stocks will probably perform well. If you're looking for ETFs, the ARK ETF, ARK, and all of those related ETFs will probably perform well over the next couple of years. So look into those ETFs if you're into those. And yeah, just the EV, marijuana, EV related stuff, uh, you'll probably do pretty well.
That I'm sure that answers it. Good stuff. Is alt season here? Could you explain the Bitcoin dominance and altcoins? I don't want. Well, it honestly just depends how you define alt season. This isn't a 2017 alt season yet, but I think alts have performed better for the majority of January. As far
It's
as
definitely DeFi alt season.
yeah, seriously, DeFi has been going crazy. As far as explaining Bitcoin dominance and altcoins, that's just the BTC dominance chart. As far as I understand, is just the percentage of the crypto market cap that Bitcoin is taking up.
Yeah.
Just had a look at my chart. Buy Bitcoin now. Watch it pump all the way to 37K or 40. I hope so. I hope you are right, Debbie. Nick says no news as far as he can tell about Ravencoin. ETH recovering nicely. Yeah, I'd like to see it hold above the weekly open if possible. Hopefully Bitcoin just ranges for us. Tesla Connect. Thoughts on Dogecoin?
Let me see. I haven't looked at that chart today, but I think it's been pretty good to
I think it's just been consolidating. I was drawing a meme triangle on it earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of consolidating. I'm interested in Dogecoin just for scalp longs, clearly, because it's trending up. So
yeah, and
I'm not interested in shorting it. That's for sure.
Basically, the apex of this triangle, or where it's at right now, it's like a 30% range. So the volatility is definitely insane there.
Yeah.
At the moment. But as far as my thoughts on Dogecoin, I'm pretty sure, like both of us kind of said, we're not big alt fundamental guys, but I'm pretty sure Dogecoin was just made as a meme, and so I don't really see long-term value in it other than pump and dump.
Yeah, I think Dogecoin in terms of trading though is great to trade. Because great to trade as of the last 24 hours because of all the volume coming in. But also you can get absolutely smoked if you're not paying attention and if you're risking too much in your scalps. But Doge is definitely on my radar to continue scalping. Could we see 0.08 again? I wouldn't say it's impossible. Is funding still stupid negative?
Let me check.
Hold on. Let's see. Oh my god, it's negative 0.4?
Oh my.
What the hell? Okay, yeah, so then maybe we do see 0.08 again.
Is Doge on here
for something like that, I would definitely trade it level to level though. That's not something I would say.
Oh gosh.
I would enter into a long and then hold it until 0.08, it's something that I would scalp level to level because I'll be more profitable that way anyway.
Yeah, here's the funding on Dogecoin across exchanges. On Binance, negative 0.41, FTX, negative 0.5, just about. OKEX, negative 0.38.
I got a good question in Discord because, again, same dude that didn't have a password for his YouTuber forgot it, but
Let's
he
hear
said,
it.
how do you place targets on coins that are in price discovery? So he's saying Alpha, for example, which is a beast, which it is a beast. You could use fibs. I think that's a pretty common answer that most people would say fibs.
Yeah, like extensions, right?
Yes. And if I'm in a position that's just rocketing like that, that's in price discovery, I just move my stop up, and as I'm moving my stop up, I treat moving my stop as an entirely separate trade. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I were to enter into, I don't know, alpha, for example, right here, where would my invalidation be for this long position? And then I'd move my stop loss accordingly.
I do
But
that too.
I really don't try and guess tops or anything like that. I'd rather see a strong rejection and signs of a top. So maybe a strong rejection and then some sort of retest of the highs. Then I'll look to scale out. But something trending as hard as alpha is not. I wouldn't be too quick to take profits on something like that because that chart looks absolutely absurd in a good way.
Yeah, kind of like UB was saying, I think holding like trailing your stop up and holding onto it versus taking a bunch off at fib extensions is my preferred way of doing it. Like if Ethereum starts really going here, like this would be whatever. I mean, we don't have any. The old all-time high was like 14 something. It's not on the FTX chart, but really simple, in really simple terms, if I was long Ethereum from down here and it starts doing this, right? Obviously, it's never this pretty, but just for for example's sake, as soon as we break above this high, I would move my stop up to this low, and then we push above this one.
Right. Yeah.
I would move my stop up to the next higher low. Break that high, move my stop up to the next higher low, and then whenever this does nuke, you're not catching the exact top, but that's how I would move my stop up with market structure. So
Yeah, agreed.
Let's say you were doing that. Just for a moment, let's pretend like this was price discovery for Ethereum. If right when we broke this high, I probably would move my stop up to here. And then when we break this high, I would call that a break in market structure. Even though it started consolidating, I would move it up to there. And then break this. That's when it gets a little harder. Like if you're just consolidating and didn't really make a specific higher low, but I think you'd be pretty safe putting it at the bottom, like the furthest one, because a lot of times we'll test that demand right at the beginning of that pump, so I wouldn't feel quite as safe having it right there. But I know that's a really rough example, but I hope that kind of answers it, and you can let me know if we need to clear that up a little bit more.
That was a perfect response. I agree with all of that.
Awesome. Hello, Sam. Can you disable the sell button, please? Thanks. CZ, same deal. I agree, Angle. They should just disable those sell buttons. Let's see. I'm new to all this and trying to learn. I have a question for you guys. What do you think about Ethereum after 5 hours? Will it go up or down? If anyone tells you an answer to that, I think it's just a guess. If you've been
after
listening,
5 hours.
Yeah. If you've been listening to a lot of the stream, I think you can kind of see that we kind of plan for scenarios, and probabilities of scenarios increase or decrease based on support or resistance levels that become reclaimed or lost. So if you just joined us, I would just say to rewatch this stream, and then you can kind of get an idea of how we look at a chart and how we kind of decipher which way we think it'll go. Bybit or FTX for scalping? I would say FTX. I think FTX is a lot more convenient because you can hold a bunch of different coins as collateral. On Bybit, at least when I used Bybit a while ago, you had to hold ETH to trade ETH, had to hold XRP to trade XRP, whatever it is. And on FTX, you can hold a ton of different coins as collateral. Let me actually pull it up because it's crazy. It's a pretty neat chart. So this shows all the different coins you can hold as collateral on FTX. Whereas on Bybit, you have to hold what you want to trade. So I think that's super useful, and they just have a bunch more coins that you can trade than Bybit. So I would prefer FTT, but let's see. High is now a good time to buy Ethereum. I probably wouldn't right this second, but like we were saying earlier, flip 1440, and I think that's a good indication.
I'd risk a breakout long at 1440 there. Usually I'm not a breakout trader at all, but for this specific setup, I would definitely take the risk on a breakout long personally.
I just think now, like, we've hit this 1440 3 different times, like on 3 separate occasions. Like, you could count this as however many times you want, but the way I would count this is 1, 2, 3, and the first time we pulled back this far, second time this far, third time so far this much. Maybe we get like a move up here, hit it again, pull back a little bit, and then finally shoot through. But the rejections are definitely getting weaker. It's kind of the bouncy ball meme, but inverted. Oops. Like if this was our, that's our floor. You drop a bouncy ball, and it bounces this much, then it bounces again, and the bounces just keep getting lower, and then the floor kind of gives out. That's kind of what we're looking for. Oh. If that makes sense. Rune has been going nuts. I'm pretty pissed about it. I forgot to leave bids at this 3-day demand. I still have it on there just because I want it to haunt me for a little bit longer. It's been taken off. It has absolutely no weakness. Pullbacks are so rare on Rune.
Yeah. I think that's like a fundamentally good one too. I'm pretty sure my smart friends like Rune for that reason.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, if you just look since the beginning of January, the BTC pair, like this is truly up only.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, and someone asked Algo why it popped. I think that was due for a pop for quite a while, just because it was compressing below those that area of resistance.
Like this right here.
The structure looked good.
I think is what the compression you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the stream to catch up. But yeah, it was compressing below resistance for quite a while, so that was kind of due for a move. And also, it's on Coinbase, and it didn't move yet as much, so just had all those factors for it to start moving and grooving.
I like it. Can you say something about Rune? Oh yeah, 2 people asked about Rune. So, I mean, as far as
say anything about Rune.
Bullish.
Good. Rune good.
Rune very good. As far as getting on board, I mean, you kind of just need to trade differently in a trending environment or just sit out. This is another good example of if you were trailing your stop up though. Like, let's say you caught along here, it's pushing up, your stop was there. Here it puts in a not quite macro, but a pretty higher time frame, higher low. Once this high gets broken, you can move your stop up to there. If you're trailing it more aggressively, you could be moving it up to like here and then up to there. But if you're doing it more conservatively, you could still have it there. And if it pulls back a little like this, then once it breaks that high, trail it up again. I think those are all valid ways of trying to squeeze a little bit more out of a coin that really starts trending. I also think leaving like 15 or 20% of your trade open, like a moon bag, some people call it, is another good way of doing that. Like you could take 50, 60, 70% off at your target and then leave that 30% open for however long you want, and maybe just trail up with that so that you feel a little bit more protected and have some more profit secured. But I think those are all solid ways of doing it.
In bull markets, I think you should always leave some running.
I think
Like
Loma
maybe
was talking
10
about
to 20%.
that. Or maybe it was Pierre. I think it was one of those guys that was saying something about a moon bag, like 20%.
Yeah.
I think that's...
It could have honestly been either of them. Either of them are pretty supportive of that idea.
Yeah, they're no dummies.
Yeah, definitely not. Do you guys use Uniswap? I did for a little bit. As Angle said, that stuff is just totally out of my wheelhouse. The whole Uniswap stuff. It's mostly just because you actually have to research, and that doesn't work well for me. The FA stuff for crypto is not something that my brain could. My brain doesn't function at that high of a level to be able to understand it. So, yeah, Uniswap is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I've always kind of been more of a majors kind of guy and just like trading them versus throwing money
we're the same way for sure
at gems. But I think I don't remember when it was exactly. A while ago, I realized like how much upside there really is in alts and how stupid rich some people are gonna get from alts, and so I trade them here and there, but it's not. I don't really day trade anything other than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then your occasional whatever's like hot on the market, number 3 or 4 in volume on FTX that week or whatever. So like Link, for instance, Sushi sometimes, Dot for a little while, Comp, whatever's moving.
Yep, same for me as well.
Do you guys like Dogecoin?
I like it. It made me money.
I think I had 3 friends text me about Dogecoin.
Yeah, it's like people really think it's gonna go to $1. It's pretty comical.
Here, let me read this conversation. He texted me. I haven't seen this guy in a few years, but he goes, "Hey boss, are you all in for Dogecoin?"
Oh no.
And I just go, "Coins that have pumped 700% in 24 hours don't typically hold up well." And he goes, "But this is a new rush of Reddit. There's so much steam." And I say, "It could be. Just feels more like gambling than trading to me." And he goes, "Yep, basically is. But gambling that everyone's going to buy."
Yes, that's like the same type of conversation I've been having. Yeah. It's just like those people aren't traders, and you can't possibly get it into their brain in the 5-minute conversation that Dogecoin, like up 700%, maybe isn't the best idea to be tossing money into if you're not scalping it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it could be a great gamble until everyone decides to sell, and then the cascading drop is just going to be
that's the thing.
Insane. And it's
that's
like,
what's terrifying about Doge is it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it will.
We have to be realistic about it, and everyone in the chat right now, you have to be realistic that Doge is going to sell off. Maybe it won't retrace this entire pump, but it's going to sell off like 100% in a single hourly candle. It wouldn't be crazy. I don't think.
I mean, it always does that, bro. Does anyone know?
Yeah, and it always retraces.
Yeah. What exchange has the most history on Doge?
Bittrex, I believe.
Bittrex.
Yeah, check that one out. And while I mentioned CBS's sentence, which I shouldn't even mention, but he says we should spend time diving into TRX, the fundamentals and the technicals.
Dude, if there is one person I hate in the crypto space.
Yeah, you guys should definitely DM at Cold Blood. What the hell is that actually?
Schiller.
I always forget. Is it Schiller or Shill?
Schiller, I think.
Yeah, no, it's Shill. I knew it.
What?
You should definitely DM Cold Blood Shill and talk about Tron. He loves Tron, loves Justin Sun. he's a big fan. So if you guys ever want to, you know, shoot the shit with CBS about Tron, definitely DM at Cold Blood Shell. He loves it.
He gets a real rise out of it.
Yeah, he's researching it. He's in all the Telegram chats talking about it, trying to figure out what Justin could do next to pump the price up. He's a big fan.
I think he actually knows Justin's son personally.
Yeah, they hang out.
They do. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, this will probably top out relatively soon, unless I'm an idiot, which is very possible. And then I think we'll just get one of these. Just a slow grind. It might start with one big dump, and then just the rest of it is just like a slow grind down. Because I just feel like that's what Doge does after every single pump.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you ever thought about making a scalping tutorial?
I don't
Have you ever
scalp
thought
a
about that,
ton
Kyle?
personally.
Oh,
Most of my trades are intraday or like multi-day. I've never been a M5, M1 scalper as badly as I wish I was.
so I've been getting more and more into scalping just because it's the perfect environment for it. And I've thought about making a video, but I think the best way you could personally learn low time frame trading and scalping in general is just to open up the 5 minute chart on Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever you're going to scalp, and watch it. And I know that's going to sound absolutely ridiculous, and it may, and I definitely could see why it sounds ridiculous, but I think there's a lot of stuff you'll be able to learn about it that no one will be able to teach you. I can't put into words exactly what I look for when I scalp. Sure, there's different patterns that maybe I could take screenshots of, but there's just so much going on and so much to um, take in that I think if you just watch a chart like in your free time, just watch the chart and understand how that asset is trading on lower time frames, you'll get a better idea of what patterns typically play out on lower time frames. And I'm not saying like these triangle patterns or anything like that. It's more so the price action patterns, how it's trading, if it's, if it sweeps lows and bounces often, should you be, positioned accordingly. So scalping is definitely the most difficult way to trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely is very difficult because things happen so fast, and I think it's also super rewarding though. Like that's why people like it. It's like sit down for a scalping session for an hour, get your profit for the day, and then just shut off the screen. Like
Exactly, yeah.
you definitely definitely have a lot less FOMO if you're just looking to like scalp on a daily basis because then it just doesn't matter what price it's at, you know?
Yeah, and you don't have to trade any crazy size to um, make good profit from scalping at all. Especially in this market environment, like it can move 1,500 points, 1,500 points in like 30 minutes. So it's pretty nuts the amount of
CBS says
profit you
it's
can make.
actually true. I used to work at TRX headquarters until Justin physically attacked me for not putting the pump on the coin.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
This is a good tip from him as well, though. He said scalping is a huge benefit when learning trading anyway. More exposure to setups, more exposure to execution. So regardless, you should be diving in and at least simulating. Yeah, I
No, I
completely
agree
agree.
with that.
I think you just if you're only testing like some swing trading strategy and only taking trades on the daily, like that's fine if that's what you prefer, but you can also kind of learn trading on a lower time frame and then adapt to what you think works best for you because if you're trading on a 5 minute, 1 minute chart, whatever, you are getting way more opportunities to practice and work on your craft and your execution because honestly execution is the biggest thing in trading. Anyone can chart, um, but execution is hard.
Do you have a go-to scalp risk reward strategy setup? Yeah, that's the thing with scalping is for me personally, I don't have a predefined risk to reward setup. I scale in and scale out a lot. So, like, I don't have the traditional, okay, I'm going to be, if this hits my profit, it will be 2R or like 1.5R or something like that. That's not how I look at my scalps at all.
Wrecked Proof, good to see you here, brother. He says, take your order flow, high time frame, and build low time frame ranges around your high time frame swing points. Easier with looking for redefined entries.
Right.
That is a good tip. Let's see. I mean, I think I'm trying to see if there are any questions we missed. I have good levels, but for scalp, need bigger margin to do gains with low percent move, right? How you plan the scalp? It kind of depends how you're doing it. Like UB was saying, he scales in and out, and so position sizing isn't necessarily the same. Thanks, Wrecked Proof. What's the highest leverage you're comfortable with?
Leverage is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's all about position size. Leverage doesn't matter.
I will. Crypto Cred has a good article on position sizing and leverage. Let's see if I can post this in the how do I get to the chat of my own? Oh, here we go.
Just gonna have to click
Oh,
under dashboard, I think maybe.
there we go. All right. I think it shows up. Yeah, so that article I just sent will explain leverage and position sizing a little bit. Essentially, the too long didn't read version is the leverage number doesn't matter. It's just your position size that matters. But that article will explain it and give some examples in depth. Is the Doge hype dead? Who knows?
I don't think it's dead, no.
I don't either. I think it could keep going, but it's like I don't know. It's
If
tough.
you're buying here for like a swing trade, you're out of your mind. Maybe that will come back and bite me in the ass in like 2 days and it will be up another 400%. But I think if you're entering into a fresh swing position here, targeting 9 cents or something, I think that's extremely irresponsible. You should just mostly focus on scalping Doge instead of looking for a swing trade opportunity.
Sorry, what did you say? Was that one of the biggest issues is trying to define a high time frame order flow based on a low time frame trend. Yeah, if you get that backwards, then you're in trouble. That's kind of similar to, I think I tweeted it a few days ago. It's like, don't enter a swing trade on a 15-minute candle and don't close your swing trade based on a single 15-minute candle. Any targets for Kava, Kava? I've never really traded it. UB, you got anything on it?
Let me open a chart right now. I think that sounds familiar of something I was looking at. Let's see. Oh my god. This hourly chart, what the hell? This 4 hour. This is a pretty ugly chart, but if it were to move up from here, I would look at the 2.42 level to start looking to secure some profit or look for price to for things to look a little bit weaker around that level. Yeah, so that's 2.42, 2.43-ish area is my first trouble area, first area of potential resistance if it were to move up from here.
Yeah, around there.
That's the thing. A lot of these altcoins, I just don't like the series of higher low structure at all. Just because I think it's just primed to just give a nice fake out move down before going a little bit higher. That's burned me quite a few times, so maybe don't don't take that into account and don't have the same fear I do. I've definitely missed a lot of setups because I was waiting for a fake out, but just something to keep in mind that this stuff could wick down pretty hard. We really haven't seen one of those on altcoins in a while, right?
Like one of those massive wicks.
Yeah,
down?
Just like one of those long, just like an FU wick, just like one of those classic.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we really haven't market wide, so something to be aware of.
Demo Cryptus, welcome. I think you've been in the stream all like the last three today and the last 2 days, so three in a row. You haven't. Well, you've kind of missed everything.
Yeah, just watch the recording.
um, if there was a TLDR of the entire stream, the one most important thing from the stream, I would say,
Ethereum good.
get your Ethereum exposure way up if we can hold above 1440. I feel like that's the biggest takeaway.
Yep.
Any
Do
other?
you guys think in general the trend shifted today, or we just go back to the same trend as before? I think nothing really. I can't say nothing happened today. I mean, in terms of, the overall bigger picture, I think nothing changed in that regard. I still think that we see sub 30K, maybe 27, maybe go for those lows like I mentioned earlier in the stream. I think today's squeeze just kind of secured my thought process on that scenario playing out. That scenario being the more likely scenario to play out, just because I was waiting for a larger squeeze before positioning myself to enter into more short positions. But again, Ethereum looks fine, so maybe Bitcoin is gonna get dragged up. This is one of those points that I usually sit on the sidelines and just wait and see what happens and then go from there. We could never go for those lows until we hit 45K. So I don't want to uh, have blinders on and get stuck in this bearish argument, because we are in a bull market after all. And um, it's definitely easier to be bullish.
Yeah, I think so too. As far as, I mean, my answer to that, I don't think we've had a trend shift yet. I think a trend happens on either side of this range, as long as it's not just like a quick wick. Like, I don't think this will happen, so I don't want it to sound like that. But if we got something like this and we actually started trading below this range, I feel like that would kind of be the beginning of a bearish trend. Once again, I don't think that's going to happen. And then once we get back above 40K, I think that's the beginning of the bullish trend. Right now, I just feel like we're ranging, even though, yeah, it's a huge range between like 28K and 40K, but I don't see a clear direction that it's chosen yet, and I feel like we'll have more clarity on that if we get on either side. But for now, I think you just keep playing the range. Like, buying sub 30K has been a win twice in a row now. Shorting around 40K has worked once. We almost got there today, and so I would just say keep playing the range extremes until we really get a breakout, and just focus on alts. Like, if I just scroll through a few different charts, like Bitcoin has just been kind of chopping around, ranging. Sushi been trending this whole time. This one's been a little choppy. GRT had a nice trend in mid-January. DOT has been absolutely ripping. So I think there's more money to be made in alts right now, and just keep an eye on Bitcoin. Use it as some confluence, I would say. Do we look at long versus shorts ratio? The only thing that I would say, like, funding kind of tells me that, because funding is based off of people who are long versus short. So I've never really looked at the ratio itself. I don't know if they have that data for every exchange or whatever, but I think funding is the best way to kind of look at sentiment. Like, people always try and use crypto Twitter as their sentiment, but everyone's view and everyone's feed is different on crypto Twitter. That's my problem with the CT sentiment thing. Both funding, like when it's massively negative, there's way more people shorting, or not necessarily more people, but more shorts. Maybe it's less big people, or if funding is hugely positive, then people are way long. So that's kind of my take on the long versus shorts. I don't know if you use that.
I don't use that long versus shorts ratio on Finex. I don't really look at it at all, because I just think it clouds my judgment. It just adds a detail that's not really too actionable for me personally. I know it works for some people, but for me, it's just something that's isn't really too necessary for me to track, so I don't. But yeah,
FTT looks good. It's not something I've ever traded a ton, but they did add the perp, so I could start trading it more. Look at FTT daily versus ETH daily. Yup. Wow, that's gangster, CBS. You need to tweet that before I do. I'm just kidding.
I unfortunately have to get going here.
Yeah, no worries. We'll wrap it up. All right, guys. This is what CBS says to compare. You can see this structure here. We'll use our cool light shot tool again. This structure right here, it's the same as this structure right here, and he says this is the future. That's our spike to 2K. Any last questions before we wrap up? We've been going for an hour and a half. It's been a fun stream. We appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, really.
Make sure you're following Crypto UB on Twitter. And give his YouTube channel a sub, and mine if you are feeling generous.
Whoa, 2 for 1. That would be very generous.
But yeah, check out his Twitter if you're coming from my side. Check out mine if you're coming from his. If you guys enjoyed this, give it a like, and maybe we'll do another one in the future. I've had a good time. It's kind of nice. Talking with someone on stream, it goes a little smoother than just talking to yourself.
Sure, I agree with that. Yeah, thank you for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun. I haven't done something like this with anyone else in a while. Usually I just talk with the guys in the Haven when we do like a live Q&A session, but I haven't done anything like this. But it's definitely something I would love to do more of in the future.
Yep, it's been good. All right, we will probably end the stream there. If we didn't get to your question, feel free to shoot me a DM, and I'll try and get around to it. And sorry, sometimes the chat just gets moving and it's hard to catch everything. But yeah, really appreciate it. You can find us both on Twitter, and we will see